showing you how you can actually take the Dollar Tree bells and rust them so they look a little pretty and more vintage, not so stark gold or even the silver. I'm going to do both at the same time. So I got these larger ones with the cute little snowflake. They have a cute little lip, and then on the top they have some stars engraved in there. So I'm gonna just put just the bells down in here. I put my product down inside of a bag because it's gonna be easier cleanup when I'm all done. I'll just take the bag and throw it away, and I won't have like a messy bowl or anything. So I'm literally just gonna dump everything inside. I'm doing a whole big batch. Now, any other metals that you're rusting, maybe you're doing some like wire or something, you could throw in there as well. Got my wire in there. So typically doing a big batch, you'd want to use about 2 cups or so of the hydrogen peroxide solution. And this was from Dollar Tree. I don't think I'm going to go ahead and do 2 cups in this batch particularly. Typically you'd use 2 cups and then about 4 tablespoons of just some vinegar. I'm using that 5% acidity. Most vinegar is. And then any type of salt will work. You'd want to use regular salt because of this right here, iodide. This salt does not supply iodide. So this might not work. And this one says this salt supplies iodide. So iodized salt is really what we want to try and use. So I am actually going to use that. You only need about 2 teaspoons of that. So I'm going to get started. I'm just going to go ahead and start pouring. I don't want to use all this up. I'm just trying to hit everything up. Now when mixing chemicals, you want to be really careful. And then about 1, 2, 3, 4. So you guys need to be pretty careful, but I'm actually going to be using 30 volume hair developer. This is basically straight up peroxide. That's why I'm using it. You're supposed to mix this product with a cream hair color or lightener, but I'm just going to pour this on all over. And the 30 volume means it's extra strength, extra lift. So this developer, once it starts oxidizing, you let it sit and the oxygen will kind of flow into it. Stuff will start to really rust. I'm going to go ahead and add some water to fill this above the line, and then we'll come back to it in an hour and see how it's rusted. So guys, it has been an hour. Oh, move this over. I'm gonna move this over here. Oh my goodness, you guys. So I have this stick on here to, as you can see, it's foamed up. There is little colored areas in the foam. That's actually, oh, it's spilling over. So I'm actually gonna have to, this is why I like to use the bag, go right in the inside of the bag, if we're lucky. So I'm going to go ahead and get some gloves on and then push this down in. Probably don't want to stick your bare hands inside of this because there's chemicals. We had used the 30 volume peroxide, which is a chemical. All right, look at that wire. So these are the pieces of wire. There's some bells on it. So they're going to foam like this just because it's oxidizing. The wire turned out pretty good. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. I'm going to go ahead and set these to the side. Wipe some of this off. And you can see it is rusted looking and it's no longer silver. Pretty good color. I like the color it turned out. Might be a little hard to tell on camera. There is the other rusted little wire. I only put a few pieces in there. This is still pretty gold, so this is probably going to have to sit in the solution longer. You can see it started to rust in this area. Typically you'd want to do silver, so these really should be sitting a bit longer But I do want to get this foam out, so what I'll end up doing is just putting it into the bag like this. I kind of want to see what the smaller ones. So the smaller ones, the silver ones, they want to see, they turn a slight gold. If you guys can see that. And then they start to rust. So if I leave it sit, it'll just keep foaming and go all over the place. So I am going to just save the same solution. I'm just getting rid of the foam. For now, I'm going to tie this up. Not trying to get the foam. In case you don't want to actually use chemicals, I'm going to be showing you how to use paint to fake our rust. Some of these bells, I tried to age them and everything, but they're still kind of silver. I really like this gunmetal like type feel, but I kind of want to show you how I'm going to do a fake rust. It's kind of the same method I showed you guys with my Halloween stuff. I'm going to be using this color. It's called Cayenne. Glob of that in there. So I'm going to be adding a little bit of black in here. We'll add in some baking soda for the texture. Got this nice mucky color, and then we'll just take the bell and paint on it. You can do the whole bell. You could just do a little piece of it like that. And let that dry. It's totally your call. I'm going to go ahead and just paint the whole entire bell. And I'm doing a really light coat. If you want to go back over it with another coat later, you totally can. I'm probably just going to do one coat just to give that texture of the baking powder and the color of rust on here. So these are the actual, like, this is actually rusted. So you can see the rust in there. It has a little bit of orange, a little bit of this dark red brown color. It has this really fun texture. So adding that baking powder is really going to help these guys over here really look pretty similar to this. And the color is pretty on point, so this more or less could pass as rust. Then this is how the other bells turned out. They did turn a little bit, but there still are gold, which I don't really want. So I'm going to go ahead and paint a few of these as well with this. I might as well use it up, right? So I'm going to go ahead and paint the rest of these ones. Then there's also this bigger one from Dollar Tree that has glitter all over it. So I just took my hand and rubbed most of the glitter off into the trash can. Then I took some Mod Podge, painted a layer over the entire thing. Now I'm going to go ahead and go in with this color. And this will really help, especially with the glitter, will help give that rusted texture. But this color overall is like everything for rust. But leaving that glitter is just awesome for the texture. Okay, there's my rusted bell. Once this dries, I'm going to go back in with the black and just add a little bit of dimension to it. But I still have some paint, so I'm going to go ahead and do just one layer over all of these. As you can see, this piece is still gold in the inside of the bell, but overall, if you don't look inside of it, I think it turned out pretty nice. I end up taking the gold ribbon off of it and the little gold piece to hang it and added some twine to hang it. Added a few more pine cones from Dollar Tree. And then I spray painted that part, the top part, with white. And overall, I really like this little rustic piece. I think it turned out nice, except for the inside that's gold, but I think if it's hanging on the tree, it's not going to be that noticeable. So that was my Dollar Tree version, and then over here is Walmart's version of the little rusted, and these are actually rusted bells. I think they're so cute. They just kind of go with the whole rustic boho vibe that I'm feeling. I really wanted to go ahead and use these bells that I had, rusted up And I got 2 of these little clips from Dollar Tree, and it came in a pack of 8 or something. And then I also have an extra belt. You can use either side. I think I might use this color, I don't know. A belt that no longer fits you. And then you're also gonna need these screw posts as well. And obviously your hot glue gun. So you can pretty easily put these onto the belt. So we're basically just making a jingle bell thing that's supposed to really hang right over the door. These hooks are not as big, however. I want this to go right on over this piece here like that. So I know for sure that it's gonna be over this little piece. Then I'll be putting my jingle bells on. And then in between the jingle bells, I want a little strap of this material, kind of just blocking out these holes. And again, we want that hole visible. I'm actually going to take some thread and a needle and just thread these on. Where to cut this? So I want a jingle bell here. Probably like right here. I'll probably space it out about like that. Oh my gosh, Ronnie. A little bit of space for here, and then double that. So about right in here. It's not even straight. Go figure. All right, we can take our other ring. So really, if you wanted to punch a hole in here and use these little pieces, so this is optional. I mean, if you really want it to be secure, you might want to do this. So you would just punch a hole right in here in the middle, and then you'd screw this side on, which I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Actually be using a drill and pre-drill my hole. See, I'm just like, well, obviously it'd be a lot neater looking if I didn't drill the hole, but really I'm not sure how else you'd put a hole in there. And then you'll just put your piece in on the other side and use like a flathead screwdriver to turn this in. I guess I don't mind the ruggedness. It really adds to the rustic feel, I guess. Our piece is looking like this. We got a bunch of holes. So now it's time to put our bells on, and I want to make sure they're pretty even. I wasn't recording. Let's just do another one. It's super easy. I put the string through the bell. Just a little bit of string. I'll do it over here, just evenly space it. So it looks about, you know, here. Which means my hole's gonna go about in here. So I'm taking this pen. Draw a little dot. You can take your needle and then push it through. As long as that needle can go through there. I'm taking the needle, I'm going up backwards through the hole. So I have the eye of the needle there. Putting the strings through the needle like this. You want to do both strings, okay? And then you'll pull those through the other side. Pull them pretty tight, and then the bell won't have anywhere to go. And then you just tie it off on the back side. Just tie a pretty strong knot. That won't be able to slip through the hole. So we just cut off our excess, and boom, the bell is on there. My twine just broke. Okay, all my jingle bells are on. Now I'm going to go back to that belt. And I want to cut up strips that are going to go over this right here. So how I'm going to do that is cut this way. instead of just cutting like this, they won't be able to go around the belt. I'm gonna have to cut them this way and into the belt. So I'm gonna cut my first strap about this size, and I'll just utilize the threads on the end. And I want this again to wrap around the belt, so it's gonna be about right in here. I can just cut this straight and then cut this in half as well. And now I have 3 straps that I can actually glue around. These are mainly going to be to cover up those previous holes like this. There's a hole. We'll just put it right around like this and glue it on the back side. And I'm going to go down and put these in between all of the bells, and then our project will be complete.